Friday is here, and we might have a light show tonight. Just not the typical light show one would expect in May from Mama Nature. The potential for some northern lights across parts of the state. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about increasing rain chances over the weekend and an active looking weather pattern next week. All in this Friday edition of the Texas Weather Roundup. Good afternoon. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy and Chief David Reimer. It's the 10th of May, 2024. Let's just dive into it. This is the current satellite image radar from the state of Texas this afternoon across the state of Texas. Clearly, I thought this whole process out very well. It's really not too bad of a day across the northern two-thirds of Texas. Temperatures are only in the 70s to lower 80s, which is a blessing compared to triple digits across the Rio Grande Plains, high humidity, and temperatures in the 90s along the Texas Gulf Coast. We do have a few showers and thunderstorms, even one that's managed to produce a wee bit of hail down there in the eastern Concho Valley. That wasn't explicitly on the bingo card today, but, well, considering what we've dealt with over the last 2.5 weeks, one storm with a bit of hail is probably better than what we could be dealing with this time of year, especially considering about 14 years ago today, there was a tornado outbreak ongoing in Kansas and Oklahoma with a bunch of EF4 tornadoes. So one hailer, I think we can survive. You could see we do have some cloud cover across the state, but really, it's not too bad of a day. Let's pop on over to the high-res rapid refresh model. We'll talk about this evening tonight. Now, first off, take a look at this. I'm going to actually completely pause this. I'm going to take a look at about 2 a.m., 1 to 2. Now, we have a major solar storm hitting. Sun flare, whatever. I'm not into space weather all that much, but we have a G4 level storm coming on in, which could allow some of y'all almost into portions of the hill country, south central Texas, to see the northern lights on the northern horizon if the clouds are clear. Now, that's not a guarantee, but our friends on the other side of the world, across, Europe, where it's dark already, they're getting northern lights down to a pretty far southern latitude. So, Panhandle, look north this evening. You're probably going to see northern lights. Same thing goes maybe as far south as I-20, maybe I-10, if clouds allow. You're not going to see them overhead, probably. You'd probably have to be up in, Colorado, Kansas, Missouri for that. But you might be able to see a little hint of tinge to the northern horizon at times tonight. As you can see, we are going to have increasing cloud cover. I'll let this play now. And rain chances are going to increase on Saturday. You're going to see scattered showers and storms, western third of Texas by Saturday morning, spreading east. As we get into the afternoon and evening, scattered showers and storms. You can see this model is actually developing a little cluster, a strong storm or two, Permian Basin, then tries to race it across the Concho Valley, hill country, into the Brazos Valley, southeast Texas tomorrow night. That's not a guarantee, but if it happens, it would probably have hail and wind. Otherwise, locally heavy rainfall, not really a high severe weather threat tomorrow. Again, maybe some small hail, lightning out, the stronger storms. And then if we get that one big blow up in the Permian Basin that wants to race across the state and make it into southeast Texas by Sunday morning, that would probably have a locally higher threat for some hail and gusty winds. But we'll see. Again, this looks more like a rainmaker versus a big severe weather maker. But that in mind, localized flooding, lightning. Please don't get struck by lightning. And then as we continue past Sunday, here's Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. Rain chances continue. More rain developing into the afternoon, evening hours into Monday morning, especially across the eastern two-thirds of Texas. It's not going to be a complete washout the entire weekend, but Saturday afternoon through Sunday looks wet. And then we may see additional activity as we get into Monday afternoon. We'll have to keep an eye out. The severe weather threat may start increasing across the eastern half of Texas as we get into Monday afternoon. And then rain chances off and on continuing next week. Forecast rain totals over the next few days. Well, this is really technically through Wednesday. This all won't be falling at once, But again, the potential for some decent rains out of this. Some of y'all, the Brazos Valley, East Texas, Southeast Texas, y'all want no more rain. Y'all have had more than enough rain. You're done with it. Unfortunately for y'all, the potential for 1.5 to 3 inches of rain through Wednesday of next week will probably cause at least some rise in water levels for some folks. We'll have to keep an eye out for localized flooding. Now, there's going to be a big difference between, 2 to 3 inches of rain falling over the span of, say, 30 to 48 hours versus 2 hours. So that'll also play a role into it. We're also expecting some pretty good rains across northwest Texas, the Big Country, the Permian Basin, the Concho Valley, north and central Texas into the Hill Country. Y'all could use more rain, so that's okay. Y'all could definitely use some more water in the lakes. Forecasting, a half inch up to an inch and a half of rain. The Panhandle, West Texas, down the Permian Basin, even down into the Concho Valley, the Edwards Plateau, the Rio Grande Plains, South Central Texas. Not bad. And again, most of this isn't going to be in the form of severe storms. This is just going to be your ordinary showers and thunderstorms, which, hey, it's May. You take that with a smile on your face, typically, unless you're dealing with flooding, which parts of, the state will unfortunately have to. So again, this is through Wednesday afternoon, and overall unsettled and at times wet weather patterns shaping up. May see some uptick in severe thunderstorm mischief potential as we get into next week, but we'll deal with that next week. Temperatures over the next few days. Here's Saturday's high temperature forecast. It's going to struggle to get into low 60s in West Texas. It's going to be cold with rain for May standards, at least. Highs in the 60s, Western Panhandle, West Texas, down to parts of the Permian Basin, 70s, northern half of the state. 80s Arklatex down into southeast Texas, Hill Country, South Central Texas, the coastal plains, down into the coastal bend. Looks like upper 80s to 90s, borderland far west Texas around El Paso, the Big Bend, down to Rio Grande Plains, Rio Grande Valley, deep south Texas. Starting to warm up on Sunday, where we're not going to see too much in the way of rain, back up into the 90s, Rio Grande Plains, South Texas, Rio Grande Valley, coastal bend, the Edwards Plateau, at least the southwestern part of the Permian Basin into the Trans-Pecos, the Big Bend. But where we do have continuing rain chances, temperatures struggling to get out of the 60s and 70s. So northern two-thirds of Texas, really. So we get into Monday, we're going to start warming back up, generally looking at upper 70s, 80s across the northern two-thirds of Texas, 90s to low triple digits down in South Texas, the Edwards Plateau, the Rio Grande Plains, the southern Big Bend, and far west Texas. And then on Tuesday, the warm-up continues. We're all back up into the 80s, 90s, maybe a few flirting with 100 degrees. So that's what we're going to be dealing with over the next few days. Overall, hopefully a fairly quiet weekend. I said the Q word, so it's probably going to be my fault if it's not. In terms of severe weather issues over the weekend in Texas, yes, we will probably have a few localized issues with hail and wind, but mostly we're just going to have a lot of rain and scattered showers and thunderstorms. Now, it is Friday, which means it is time to give credit to our Spinny Doomers. Thank you to those of you on the YouTube channel, not only the Spinny Doomers, but to everyone who has been subscribing to our channel membership. We appreciate it. It definitely helps us pay the bills. And so it's time to give the shout outs. And after this week, I promise I will actually start doing this with on-screen credit as well, the visually typed out stuff. But I kind of ran out of time today because Baldy and Chief decided it was a quiet day and wanted to take it easy. So thank you to Manda Cakes, Anthony R., Ryan Tucker, Scott Sweeney, Jacqueline Alvarez, and Wade for being Spinny Doomers here on the Texas Weather Center YouTube channel. We really do appreciate it. We're going to have our Sunday coffee coming up soon. Probably not this weekend. We might try for next weekend. We'll schedule it in advance and let y'all know, of course. And as always, thank you to all those who've been hitting that subscribe button. Thank you to all our Texas Weather Center members. And thank you to all those who, well, for one, didn't get hit on the head with hail yesterday. We know it's been a busy couple of weeks. We're going to have a little quiet stretch here, hopefully, and then it probably at some point we'll have a busy second half of May, just because that seems to be the way we're shaping up with the transition between El Nino to La Nina. And we're not even going to get into the tropical mischief stuff yet. That's no, we're not doing that yet. It's going to probably be busy, but we're not doing that yet. All right. Regular schedule applies this weekend, hopefully, so we will be back with a Texas Weather Roundup Monday morning. But if we need to, we'll put out videos this weekend. We'll see how much mischief Mother Nature wants to throw at us. Y'all make it a great Friday evening. Make it a great weekend. Enjoy the rain if you can. Have a good one. We'll talk to you later. God bless.